Hi, I'm Kay. Yeah, I think I started designing if I remember correctly, many years ago. But yeah, I'm from Curious. I also work at Creative Land Asia, and that's a very short introduction. I'm gonna pass it on.
Hi, this is Sameer Pistalwala. I'm the CEO of Culture Machine. We make digital videos for platforms like YouTube, and you may have seen some of our videos on the internet.
Hi, I'm Hemrajani. I run a design studio called Factory. We do a lot of UX and UI for mobile apps and websites. And yeah, let's see how it goes today, practical or aesthetics.
Hi, I'm Ranjana Dani, and I am a hardcore evangelist for design schools. I believe in the goodness of training, and I try to make it as interesting and non-boring as academics might sound to so many. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And yeah, let's see how it goes. I think half of them are downed a couple of beers, so I hope to be the only sane one around.
Yesterday, I paint.
That's a tough one to talk this later. Okay. So hi, I'm Kuldeep. I was at Nokia, now I'm at Microsoft. I work with app builders, developers, trying to evangelize design platform. Along the way, hope that they do develop for Windows Phone. So I'll represent the tip of the spear in terms of how it gets done in the real world. Practical matters on design aesthetics.
So guys, thanks for being here, and it's really nice of you, all of you, to register. I'm a few years down as well, so I might be slurring, but that's all right. Anyways, I'm not driving back. A lot of us have come from Bombay, and we just felt that Pune has become such a hotbed of design and development. And honestly speaking, my name is Ashish, by the way. And at BookmyShow, one of the things that we were looking at was there's this argument and this fight that's been going on for the last 2.5, 3 years now, that should engineers be better designers or have better sensibilities, or should good designers know something about engineering? And we still haven't found the answer. And the fight has been so bad that one guy lost his limb. I'm just kidding, but we lost 2 guys in the company. They quit. We've been having this fight internally, and everybody's fucking going hammer and tongs. And we said, look, why don't we take this out to the community? Let's take it out to people that really get this. Let's talk to our friends, have a few beers, start with Pune, move to Bangalore. I think we're doing some cities in the south. We're going to Delhi. In Delhi, it's going to be much earlier, because it's quite dangerous in the morning. But anyways, so we've got a great bunch of friends, and all of these folks on the stage here are really chill people and friends of ours for many years. In some walks of life or the other, we've crossed paths. And so I just want to open it up to Kay and keep it really informal. And Kay was just telling me about this Curious Awards night that he did, where he got his founder or whatever to spend shitloads of money on some wall of LEDs that he put as people walked in and all of that. So, how's it? I mean, how do you convince folks that design and aesthetic is it, and you've got to put the money where the mouth is?
Confession first. I believe in practicality, but I also happen to work in a field where it's very important to shock and awe people, and sometimes being practical doesn't shock and awe people. So today, I'm going to take a position and go all aesthetics, even though it doesn't really reflect my work. But it's just for argument's sake, I'm going to go all aesthetics today. Awesome. Okay. I thought about this. It's like, first of all, I have a funny thing. You go to a Chinese restaurant, let's say a Chinese restaurant. You have awesome Chinese food. Restaurant number 1, you go in, perfect Chinese food, perfect Chinese decor, there's no mistake. You pass by, it's a Chinese restaurant. You walk in, you have a good Chinese food, you come out. You remember that. Second scenario, you go into a restaurant which looks like a French decor, but it's a Chinese restaurant. You walk in, you have the good experience, food experience, But you also have that visual and emotional experience which is like out of this world. It's like strange, French, serving Chinese food. Now, question is, when you walk out of that restaurant, would you remember the first one better or second one better? Now, this is how I approach things. Sometimes I know practicality is important, but sometimes being impractical is very important because that creates the lasting emotion. Well, it doesn't save you time because you get confused. It's like, French restaurant, am I supposed to order French food or Chinese food? But the end effect is, you remember that more. So the same thing with what I do in Curious. How do I convince my partner to spend so much money? I don't want to do a normal award show. You go to award show, you have lines of chairs, you sit down, you walk, you wait, and you walk, you wait for people to walk up the stage and receive an award. I thought that's bullshit, that's so boring. And someone said, hey, I got the stadium. I said, hang on, if you have a stadium, why do you want to do a boring award show? Why not turn it into something like which is totally unexpected? So I made the biggest LED wall, I made a big lounge out of a stadium, and no one has thought a stadium can be converted into a lounge with the bar right in the center of the stadium. So that's kind of cool. Now, it's not practical, first of all, but people remember it.
It is highly impractical. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. This is a stadium called NSCI in Bombay, which is a dome which is air conditioned. We have a concert that we're ticketing today. We have 20,000 people, Axwell and Engrosso today, and it can accommodate 20,000, 1,000 people there. I mean, very practical.
It's practical, but a lot of things is about leaving impression. And when it comes to leaving impression, you just have to throw all the practical rules out the window and just go like, what is the craziest thing you can do? Or what's the most shocking thing you can do? Or what's the most ugly thing you can do? I mean, the whole thing is about how do you leave that impression? And that's how I see things.
So Kay, are you the same like that in your life as well? Do you do crazy, completely insane and bizarre things with your kids and your wife? Or what do you do? Who are you as a human being?
I'm quite unpredictable. My kids will testify to that. They wouldn't know what I'm going to do next. But hang on, out of seriousness, I do handle major websites, complicated backends, complicated solutions, enterprise solutions, and I know how to do it. It's not like I go crazy every time. It all depends on the
Should situation. I be running off the stage right now?
No.
Okay, I'm safe. Okay, so coming to Samir. Samir, you have built you built a company and you're continuing to build it, which is a blind side to a lot of people. I mean, it should have been done a long time ago, but you've still gone and done it. You've built it. You've built Culture Machine, and yet the content on that could be as bizarre and crazy. And you are getting content, guys to come and record stuff at your studios, and you are curating people and putting them on. And I remember this thing, he showed me one video of his which has got 800,000 views or 1 million now, which is called Gore Gote. It's a ball whitening cream or something like that. And how do you kind of balance the two? And pun unintended in the two. It could be one sometimes. I mean, if you're married for 10 years, it could be one. But how do you balance the two?
Thanks for introducing Culture Machine as the guys who made Gore Gote. We also did Pune on sex, by the way. So very clearly, that's really the space which we operate in. On the outside, it's a content company. On the inside, it's technology. My co-founder is from YouTube. When you're managing 450 YouTube creators, there's a lot of work which goes into it because there's difference in comedy from music. We have a 14-year-old in Jabalpur who sings songs inside his house, to a 9-year-old in Gurgaon, to Shruti Anand in Delhi, who parents want, in-laws wanting allow her to appear in front of them without a ghungat, and she happens to have 150,000 subscribers, sitting and doing nothing but beauty tips on YouTube. So, at the end of the day, you have to manage scale. When you have this much of variety of content, you can't be a curator, because I keep saying this, that if it was what Culture Machine is something which I wanted, it would just be a science fiction company. All you'd be doing is science fiction content. You can't judge. At the end of the day, data is God. You actually look at core metrics, but when you actually have to manage these many people with different kinds of programming and different kind of content, from a Gore Gote to every Delhi girl in the world. So the way we actually tend to do it is, for us, at the core of that, of what our companies build, the machine of Culture Machine is the technology platforms. We are able to kind of understand what content has done well. On a week-on-week basis, we are able to figure out which YouTuber in a particular category is doing well. So in beauty, for example, who's kicking ass, who's not. who's doing well in terms of viewership, who's got good subscribers, who's not. And we're able to then make decisions on the back of that, because you not only have to figure out what content to promote. Problem with a platform like this is there's 100 hours of content uploaded to YouTube.
So are you saying form follows function in this case? So do you get all the data and then you say based on this data?
Yeah, because there's no way a human mind can compute that much. You have to end up, relying on ulterior platforms to know what kind of programming to back. Because the fact of the matter is there's so much of noise on the platform, right? I was just to complete that thought. There's 50 years in 2 days, 50 years of broadcast media equivalent content which humans as a species have created is uploaded to YouTube in 2 days. So imagine the volume of video, from your shadi videos to your baby videos to to Rihanna's new song. It's all put up on platforms like these. How do you actually know what to promote? Because you have to break through that noise. And that comes down to us being able to design technology which is able to compute that. But also, it's not just gathering data, it's also being able to remove that data and give it an insight on the back of that and say, this is what we should be promoting in comedy in this particular week on this particular channel.
So Hemant, coming to Hemant. So Hemant, you have built 600 or 6,000? What was that number? Okay, I've added a zero after 3 beers. So it's 600 apps on the Windows platform. Mix, but bulk on Windows. So, everybody is out there. We're all iOS customers. We all have every single device iOS has created, space. And then this comes along Android, and then, Microsoft and Nokia and Windows say, listen, we will take the best of both of these and build that. And you as a company have been working with various startups and companies across, India, and I don't know if the world. And there is a limitation to what you can do and the way you are perceived with the community out there. How do you still end up pushing the boundaries of things like metro design, which is inherent to what Windows does, and still make beautiful apps which people can love and enjoy, and still be not a conformist, because everybody is used to how Apple looks and a Me Too, which is Android.
So basically, my job is very different from K's. K can take a lot of liberties and do shock and awe. But ultimately, what it boils down to, he created an ultimately very amazing experience. Experience is what which matters. So what we do is work within the constraints. The aesthetics is taken for granted because we are designers. We better come up with aesthetics. And within those constraints, we have to create something which can shock and awe people, or maybe just be something different. So we take all the constraints and see what we can do different within these constraints. Since I started my digital design career